Welcome back, sports gamers. It's the Natural. Got some news today on the hashtag Fix Madden franchise move. We finally got a response today, and it's some good things, some bad things. Let's kind of go through them. Sean Grady came out with the initial video about how he heard us, he heard the movement, and they're making changes, and now they're giving us what's going to come out with Madden 21, as well as what we expect to see in the future going forward as far as Madden 22. So this is the roadmap we were looking for. This is what we've been pushing for, and I want to say thank you for the whole entire community getting behind this, and from content creators across the board. I mean, so many guys have been a part of this, as well as the community, SGO, all SGO fans, you guys out there, pushing this on social media. Everyone that's been a part of this, I mean, it's been awesome. And then they were basically forced to address our concerns, and this is what we asked for. Like, okay, you say you hear us, now what's the plan? So here is the plan. Let's start out. They basically just talking about how Madden is a live service, and how they even put out new modes mid-year, like they did with Superstar KO and Madden 20, and how they had post-launch updates. They brought out new S factors, they brought out new abilities, it had the playbook live when they came out with new playbook changes and all that. As the year goes along, that's what they've been kind of working towards. Madden as a live service, and something that comes out year round. They got content year round, and not just for just for the entire game. Of course, they've had weekly commentary updates for a while, whether or not people are think that's good enough as far as the commentary, but they do update around the year, and they kind of have relevant things that happen in the league that they talk about as well, just kind of talking about that. So get into the high level franchise commitments in Madden 21 and Madden 22, and they're gonna, based upon our feedback, and it's some feedback we shared publicly, it's feedback we shared privately from through the Game Changer program. So, and these are some of the things coming out. Post-launch support, meaning after the game's released, this is not going to be on disc. So these are all things that are going to come out after the game comes out. So starting off with tuning, improved progression and regression of players, improved core player progression into the future, such as X Factor. Other abilities for older players work well with incoming rookie class. That is a major issue. I feel like the X Factors and abilities were created for the head-to-head game or for MUT, but in franchise, they got out of hand. I mean, we had hundreds, 4 or 5 years into PML, we had hundreds of X Factors. It was just overflowing. We had teams with 8, 17, 18 X Factor players on the squad. I mean, guys with double running backs, double receivers. It was just crazy. So tune that so guys will gain and lose it. Realistically, keep that same. You want to keep around the same level of balance as when the game launches. The same way you want to do it ratings. You don't want to, by end of 5 years, have 299 overall players. You want the roster to be kind of seem like when the game first launched. You got upper echelon guys. You got some decent guys, mid tier. You want to keep that same range as the gear goes on. You don't want to get out of whack one way or the other. You don't want a whole league full of 60 overall players. You want a whole league full of 99 overall players and Superstar X Factor. So that's huge. The tuning balance across multiple years is very important for guys who play multiple years in franchise. Commissioner tools, which they touch on, and that's something I don't even want to. That's such a sore spot for me, because this is something I literally was talked about them with EA about this. I mean, probably 4 or 5 years. I mean, when I first started doing this years ago, commissioner tools was a huge thing that we were pushing forward. But I'm glad that at least this movement finally, kind of pushed those things to the forefront. On to AI and personnel management. The AI will make better team management decisions in the draft, free agency, and trades. And this one is pretty funny, because in PML, actually, we kind of finished up our last season, and people were like, well, what would we do if we just jump the whole franchise ahead 5 years? So everyone kind of put it on CPU management, and some guys missed it, but for the most part, everyone put it on auto management, and we jumped the league ahead 5 years, and it was an absolute disaster. It was a mess. All the rookies were terrible. The draft was so bad. Free agency, dude, it was so many. It was like upper echelon players just all sitting in free agency. They made it through free agency period. Always they were just sitting there. They're just sitting there even after the open free agency. They were just sitting there because the cap was so jacked up. If they don't touch the cap, AI personnel management won't matter. They have to address the issues with the cap. The game does not deal with the cap realistically how they do it in the NFL, as far as being able to front load, back load contracts and kind of work around that. You can't do that. So teams are so maxed out cap, they were just letting all their top guys go, and they were just sitting in free agency because no teams had cap to sign it. So it was an absolute total mess. So from this point, they need to draft, free agency, trades, but also salary cap management needs to be added onto this. Playoff and Super Bowl presentation, that's been the same for years. I mean, I think this whole entire gen had the same Super Bowl celebration. I mean, I can't know how far back. Let me know in the comments below, how far back do you remember this same Super Bowl presentation in the game? I mean, maybe all the way into this whole gen, all of PS4, all of Xbox. So I don't know. That's laughable. That, I mean, it's something there. All right, X Factor Superstar ability customization. One big one people were talking about, allowing people to go in and customize the roster, customize X Factor abilities, and the ability that they will have commissioners can have this ability only, or if they want to open up the players, but hopefully just commissioners are able to do this, because I've seen so many times with different glitches, abilities get locked and you have to re-roll them. It's hard to get. It's a whole mess. So it's good they finally, something people have been asking about for a while, they finally get it in. Career stats and UI, improved UI showing historical player performance. Yes, that was one of our big ones on the list. More immersion and depth on how players will progress in your franchise. Exactly, I kind of touched upon that earlier, just how players, you had guys they just didn't progress right. They had guys come in so low in the draft and just never progress. And the draft, even the creative players in the draft were so skewed, and they were just a mess. It was like guys who had 95 speed and 75 agility, or guys with 99 catch and 70 route running. It was like what? Like all these players were just all messed up, you just have a linebacker who would have like 99 tackle, and then he would have like 30 hit power or something. It was just like they didn't make sense together. With each position, all the ratings were just so skewed, and then the development, they didn't progress right. So it really was just a mess. So but having historical player tracking, that's one thing that we have been asking for a while, where you can see historically who won the Super Bowl, who won what awards. You can go back and see that in an easy fashion. You can put all the information up and kind of it makes your team matter, makes everything matter when you can see that over time. Trade logic, more fidelity, depth, and authenticity. I've seen so many funny videos of guys going out, just what kind of ridiculous trades they can do. They can trade like two 4th round picks for another team's best player. So trade logic, that's needed to be worked on for a long time. Good to see they're working on that. Retirement UI, better insights into retirements each season, allow players to react, manage. Yeah, it's funny because you'll get to that stage, that screen, and you're just all of a sudden, I mean, you even go past it quickly, and you're like, hey, where did Big Ben go? Like, hey, did you guys see where Brady went? He like, you don't even know. Like, you have to go back. Like, they don't alert you. You just got to go back to that screen and just cycle through your team or names and just try to find, like, oh wow, he retired. Damn, I didn't even realize. So good to see at least they get some prompt or some kind of just better awareness, so you can see, or even, I mean, maybe some kind of, I don't want to say celebration, but some kind of cinematic around that when a top guy, a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees or somebody like that retires, a Von Miller. There should be some more hoopla around it, some kind of I don't know, team legacy bonus or something. You've had one of the greatest players on your team of all time, something along those lines. Just do something around that. Playoffs updates, add authentic playoff bracket screen to see. Woo, wow, a playoff bracket screen. Wow, I mean, I'm not knocking it, I'm not complaining. It's just laughable. Like, we had to fight tooth and nail, like spam online, spam people on social media, like make multiple, like hashtag every video I put out to get a playoff bracket, like just to get just these tiny things, like these tiny crumbs. It took so long, I had to fight so hard for. It's just, I'm not complaining. It's just crazy. It's just kind of a shame a little bit. But commissioner tools, a large bucket of items, a lot of opportunities, a lot of work. Seems as something we'll continue to work on and give more control over franchise years ahead. For Madden 21-22, we're looking at the final tools. Ability to undo transactions, reducing friction and control over player movement contracts and trades, ability to approve trades, ability to reset a game in case of disconnect. They more than just reset a game. That's good. That's good. But the ability to, when a game disconnects, be able to save that in some type of log, or save, just because we've already had it before, where you can see where we had the old legacy games where they can start even in MUT. You can start a game in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, and then you do that scenario. Why can't they save the same information? Me and you are playing third quarter, 2 minutes left, 14-17. Our game disconnects. Why can't it just log that? So we'll resume. Okay, when we go to restart, and they do this offline. They do this in offline. It'll restart when we disconnect it. We'll restart. It'll restart third quarter, 2 minutes left, 14-17, and you just play from there. I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do. I don't know the complexities, the techno, the hurdles behind that, but that's just something that is so huge. People do disconnect in franchise. People disconnect online games all the time, but it's a shame you have to restart all over from the beginning just to get your game finished, and it's something that should be improved and worked on. All right, and they talk about Madden 22, and talk about coaching staff management. Ask for coaching carousel for a minute. Scouting improvements. That's good. I mean, I want the whole NCAA type system in there. I don't want just some one little screen, one click button press. If they're really gonna build this out, it needs to be in depth. New scenario engine enhancements. There's so much they can do with that. This is a whole video in itself. The amount of things they could do. The new scenario engine. On the field, outside of the field, just so many they can do. Disgruntled players, just, oh man, I wish they really put a lot of time in that one. New team chemistry system. That's something they've had that in the past, I believe. Let me know which match you remember. I remember something about team chemistry. More content, relocation, branding assets for franchise, new uniforms, names, logos, relocation options. Yes, more variety of depth and deeper careers. Definitely all things we want. Key additions. Yeah. And so this is where we're at. Yeah, they said they got a lot of work to be done. They're saying that yeah, it's just this community update. So it's good. It's good they came out. This is the roadmap we're looking for. And then they're really going to move towards this platform, Madden Voice. We're going to be able to offer more feedback and upvote topics, stuff that we want. So be a big part of this franchise community. As soon as we have something in there, we'll put that out. Let's all work together, formulate the things. What do we want going forward? What do we want in the game? So they can't say, "Oh, we didn't know you would." No, we're gonna stay on top of them. You got to keep the pressure on. Let them know what we want, and we're not gonna go away. We want Madden franchise to be great again, and we're gonna push forward, and we're gonna let our voices be heard. And I appreciate all you guys being a part of this movement. Let me know how your feelings and your thoughts in the comments below. If you appreciate our content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, share the video. If you want to take your gameplay to the next level, join SGO Insider today. Thank you for all your support.